Hello, alive again. It's me, Katrinah. I'm back. It is day 166 of our journey through the Bible in a year, which is crazy. I feel like I say that every week. I'm like, that's crazy. That's how math works, Katrinah. But day 166. Wild. That's right. Anyway, today we just have two chapters from 2 Kings 2 and 4. A lot does happen in those two chapters, though, so we're going to just pop right in there. We start with Elijah being taken up to heaven and Elisha witnessing it. So there are two, Elijah, Elisha. You hear the difference? He gets taken up to heaven, and then Elisha takes his place. And then one of the very next stories is a woman who's a widow, and she comes to Elisha and she says, my husband died and we have nothing left, and now the creditors want to take my children because I have no other way of paying our family's debts, and I don't know what to do. And he says to her, well, what do you have? And she says, I have one vessel of oil. He said, okay, I want you to go and I want you to borrow vessels from everyone who will give you some. Ask your neighbors, ask the people down the street, and then I want you to go into your house with your children, shut the door behind you, and pour the oil from your vessel into all of those. And so she does, and she has all these vessels that she's pouring into from one, and they're filling, and they continued to fill all the way to the top until there was none left. And she is able to sell all that oil and pay off the debts. And it was a miracle. And as I'm reading that, I'm thinking about how God, he works things out, but he works things out according to his own will and his own plan. He could have left Elijah here. He could have kept Elijah here forever. He could have said, you're doing great. You're a good prophet. I love you and I want to keep you in charge. So you keep going. I'll sustain your life. No, it was time. According to God's plan, it was time. And he took Elijah up into heaven. And he did that in a miraculous way too. But he did it according to his will until the very moment that he had planned for Elijah to join him in heaven. And then it was his will that Elisha take his place. And so this woman, in her boldness, comes and asks for a favor, comes and asks, help me, save my children. And God does. And he does it all according to his own will. He's able to multiply this oil for this woman and her children to sustain them. Could he not have sustained Elijah's life? He absolutely could have. He absolutely could have. That wasn't what his will was. That wasn't what his plan was. And so when I am questioning, why aren't you doing this, God? Why aren't you making this work out? Well, because he's not. God doesn't move according to my will and my plans, according to his own. But he is capable. He could have done what I begged him to do. But what I was begging for was for my will and my plans. And then we see again the Shunammite woman who was so kind to Elisha, and he says, what can I do for you? How can I help you? How can I bless you for all that you've blessed me? And how can I ask the Lord to bless you for all that you've blessed me? And she didn't even ask him for it, but he knew she wanted a child and she was older, and he asked the Lord, and the Lord blessed her with a child, and it was a miracle. And then the child died. So you're like, what? What? Why would you, Lord, bless this woman in this way with a miracle to take it away? Well, then God does another miracle and uses Elisha to bring this child back. And both of those things are miracles. And as I'm reading, I'm thinking, man, I'll never be able to fully understand God's mind. I won't. I'm like, we could have avoided this whole thing. We could have, but God, in his infinite wisdom, does things according to his will and according to his plan. and for His glory. And so my challenge for us today is to, when we are begging God to make something work out the way we want it to, and it's not happening, to pause and say, you know what, Lord, thank you. Thank you for working your will and not mine, because it's better. And help me see it. Open my eyes to it, you know? So those are my thoughts on today's reading, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.